Welcome to another Fox Squadron podcast. Today we are going to be discussing Star Wars Legion with my good friend Glacier Dawn.
Hello.
So, today we'll be talking about just kind of our competitive lists and our casual lists. We aren't the best players, of course, but we are just kind of learning and watching tournaments to get better, at least in my case. And
Masters of the trade. We have mastered everything. No one can beat us. That's why we refuse to play against anyone slightly challenging.
I wish, but that's not the case. But also, this is just mainly, I guess, kind of a get to know us in our Legion style of podcast for our first one. We won't be jumping into any topic in particular until, I guess, next week. This first week, we'll just be kind of going over some lists for, I guess, you guys to get to know us. Yeah, so I guess.
Something to know about me is I was born at a very young age on a place.
Right on, right on. Just getting even more personal. So I guess Glacier Dawn. Do you want to lead off with your competitive list that you'll be bringing to the next game or tournament that you want to win?
Sure. Okay, wait, no, I did find it here. Alright, sorry. I think it's honestly mostly just going to be the same one that I had, mostly.
Yeah, I think
It
that
will
was
be
that was
a
the single stab rider unit, General Grievous, two droid sniper units, three B1s, and I forget. Was there a fourth B1, or I forget exactly what was in that list.
No, it really was.
Okay. And there was a super tactical droid as well, yeah. Kind of that
No,
mix
no, no,
and match.
there was four B1s.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha, cool.
Each
That makes sense.
equipped with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
so the thought process behind that one when I was making it, if I can't have a tank, no one can. So
Multiple
that's
rockets.
a
I mean,
wrap.
multiple rockets is good. A lot of B1 lists run with that. Grievous is kind of iffy unit. He's cheap, but I think his Saj is just the same amount of points, and she's like really strong for what she does. But Grievous
But
does
you
have
see,
block, which lets him
but
spin
you
and
see,
dodge during defense to gain surge to block, which with the newest deflect nerf, no other force users really have right now. um,
also it's
and
free. Come on.
yeah, the two sniper droids are pretty good, and I guess normally people run three stabs, but you currently only have the one stab rider's miniature, so that's why.
Oh, I did also just have one standard BX series squad.
Oh, that's right, you did. Yep. For the little shenanigans.
Yep. This list is great when it comes to command control because you may only be able to activate like four at most, but guess what? I can activate all 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units if I
Yeah,
play it right.
well, not activate, but issue orders too.
Oh sorry, yeah, issue orders.
Yeah,
I
order
can
control.
activate them all at the same time and wipe you out before you get to activate.
If only, yeah. But order control, always what Separatist is really good at, and definitely Super Tactical Droid in that list helps a lot because you do have a lot of special forces, core, and support to go with orders. Yep.
Yeah, that super tactical helps out plenty.
Oh yeah.
Plus, were he ever to be engaged, he's not exactly the weakest when it comes to ranged attacks.
No, yeah, you definitely want to keep him back, keep him alive as long as possible. But if he needs to pick like a
Yeah,
one health guy off that has no dodge tokens, which is kind of rare these days, he could probably pick it off pretty easily.
yeah. That's why for most of the tournament I tried. Well, actually, not tried. I did keep him back, except for the last round. That one was pretty fun. And if we do talk about the rounds of the tournament, which I don't think we will, but if we do, that one was something. Anyway, but for most of the rounds though of the tournament, I tried to and did keep him back with a few droid units, mostly the snipers, kind of defending him. So keeping them at bay, and then the staff riders obviously was somewhat nearby, and they would help relay the commands off to the other units.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good tactic. So, what is your new version of that competitive list? Is it just the same units with like slightly different upgrades, or?
Kind of. So about that whole listing earlier, that was also a link that I had, and I can't remember what exactly it was.
Yeah, no worries, no problem.
All I remember was that for the most part it was pretty similar. I had another one too, but that one was kind of on the fly, so I can't fully remember what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the most part, though, yeah, the first one was essentially just this. I think I dropped the EMP droid poppers on the BX series droid commandos.
Right, yeah. Get something a little bit more useful, and yep.
Yeah, so instead, I got Dioxis grenades because it's the best grenade in them. I got fragmentation grenades, I think.
Okay, yeah. It's pretty interesting. See how it goes. I guess maybe I don't know. I guess just like no grenades on the droid commandos, maybe just because they still have the sword on them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, so they don't really need a grenade. I
yeah,
think I also did get rid of the hacked comms unit as well. Oh no, I did that earlier, but from the tournament. There we go. Yeah, no, I did.
yeah.
I
Makes
don't know
sense.
why I
Yeah.
was thinking I still had that on them.
Yeah. And this is the list you would bring to another tournament again, correct? Or would that change?
Yeah, well, I mean, it would probably change a bit more as time goes on, but as of now, though, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's a pretty cool list. It's got the order control. It's got a very amount good. It's got a lot of interesting pieces. Not a whole lot of meta pieces we see in tournaments, but still pretty interesting. I do like it.
I'm a very interesting type of guy.
Indeed, indeed.
Generally not the best, but
Nah, it's okay. And yeah, I guess when you're not playing competitively, is there a different list that you're going to be playing? I guess that you're going to be trying out because I guess the line between competitive and casual is kind of blurry for Legion. I would say that you build every list to win a tournament, and those casual lists are the ones you're just trying out for basically the first time.
casualist, honestly, I just do to kind of mess around. Anyway, let me walk you through this one. This one's a doozy.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did actually send me a link, so let me open that up too and open up the page on the OBS. There we go. Oh wow,
So I
interesting.
do think I may have modified this a wee bit a while ago. Yet again, link is lost. So as of now, may I introduce you to this list, which gives me a 2-point initiative bid. Woo.
Wow. I mean, it's not too bad. Your red player's not bad, and well, you got five. We got 3 core, 2 snipers, 2 tanks. Okay, yeah. So you got an interesting list here.
Yeah, the thought is that the snipers would kind of help clear away, or at the least keep the enemies at bay, so the tanks could kind of get in. The droids would also help with that, kind of stay back, launch rockets at them. Then the tanks, one tank would go in through like the center, the other one might try to like flank. The droid forces would be on the other side, kind of keeping them in a pincer. And then any that try to escape would get picked off by the snipers. And obviously, then we have super tactical there to kind of help relay things. Although I don't have the stat writers to help relay better, so
Yeah, I mean, with the series droid pilot, the tanks essentially are the same type of like order control. I think they do pretty well. Yeah, I think the are okay because you issue an order to the tank, it issues an order to battle droid, all the battle droids issue orders to each other, and then the last order goes to like a droid sniper squad. No, it looks good.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you'll need a long range comm link because I don't think the tanks will ever be out of range of the droid commanders range 1 to 3.
That is true.
Yeah, and I don't know about deflector shields on the droid commandos. I guess it can keep them around a little bit longer if the enemy gets range to them. But since they are snipers, I don't think they'll usually have range at them.
But it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, deflector shields are cool, but I don't think you really need them on snipers or the comms antenna.
That is true.
Yeah, because it's like 26 points. You can take... If you take both the long-range comms upgrades off, both the deflector shields and the comms antenna, you have like 38 points. You can fit like a naked group of B1s in for more objective play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall it looks good though. It does look interesting.
Yeah, I love AATs.
Yeah, no, they look good. Definitely a high range list. The command cards look pretty good too. Roger, Roger, Orbital. Do not underestimate our means. They too will suffer preservation protocols and mechanized incursion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only the best.
Yeah, and then key position and intercept transmissions are good for tanks. They can push units out and hold the objective. Recover's an interesting one. Yeah, do you think you have enough core for that?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Honestly, for like half of those, I kind of went through and I was like, "Yep, okay, that one's perfect. That one's perfect. That one's perfect. Ah, crap, I need one more." And so I was like, freaking, you know what? That one will do."
Yeah, because I mean, payload and sabotage, the motion rate reparators are very difficult objectives to win these days. Kind of have a lot of uncertainty about them with gun lines. And then I guess that leaves the third option as bomb. Well, hang on, is there another one I'm forgetting of? Oh, hostage. Yeah, and I don't think you want to do hostage because force users are very strong at that.
Yeah.
So that leaves bombing run, which is basically breakthrough 2.0. Though you may have a bigger advantage with that because with bombing run you could take down their bomb units and get your bomb units across. But I guess you only have like 3 bomb units though.
Also, I have just tried it. Sorry, I cannot fit a naked droid group on there if I got rid of everything.
All the flavor points. Let me check.
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait, did that include the long range comlink?
Yes, that did include the long range comlink.
Oh, okay, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Yep, right, perfect 800. I got no point initiative.
Yeah. I guess you could also, I mean, you could also use those points to put like into like a PK series worker droids on the battle droids just to keep your other stuff alive longer. Yeah, there's a few options basically.
Yeah.
Aggressive tactics is nice on the super tactical droid for the AATs though. That'll surging on red is annoying with armor.
Yes.
It is quite good. Yeah, the battle deck looks interesting. About as well as you can make it. The I do like the deployment. That does look really good too. And then the conditions don't look too bad. I mean, I guess I don't know about fortified. I feel like that would hurt you more as a tank player.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too when choosing it, but I kind of didn't really care in the moment.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a problem for future me, not present me.
Problem for future you, yeah. I mean, I guess either hostile environment or war worry would be the two. Probably hostile. That one's a bit more dependent on your people being adjacent to terrain, unless instead of your super tactical droid moving up more.
Yeah.
I forget what the other one was. Is that... Oh, that's the limited viz. You don't want that. No. Not for this list. Limited viz is not very good at all. Yeah, this looks fun, though. Like, it's a good, nice, fun casual list to try out tanks, and... Yeah.
I do love tanks, so...
Tanks are fun. Tanks are fun. Heavy support is great, and... Yeah, Dark Troopers, obviously.
Plus the fact that the tank is an AAT makes it all the better.
The anti-aircraft tank, yes. Those are the best ones.
Armored assault tank, actually.
Oh, that's right. They're armored assault, yeah. Not
Although, I guess anti-aircraft could work if he's a real good shot.
I mean, yeah, there was, what is it, like, Phantom Menace, the Naboo fighters are flying out of the hangar. There was a tank that was parked outside that shot one of them down. Seems like what they're also capable of, too.
Anti-everything tank.
Anti-anything tank. That would be funny. I guess, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Nice competitive and casual list there. Getting used to the game. Obviously, you're still new, so you're still getting all the ropes and everything, but you're doing a pretty good job, I'd say.
Wrong, I am intermediate.
I mean, yeah, I guess after this tournament, maybe intermediate could be a good term. Yeah, I guess we can hop into my list. So
I sent you the modified list, so you don't have to look at it. I'm just saying I sent it.
Okay, cool. Maybe I should look at it. And if it's basically the same
It's not
thing, we
very
talked
much.
about enough, so we're good. Anyways, this is my competitive list that I used at the tournament. That was like almost a month ago now. It's Tempest Force.
Wow, not long.
Yeah, not that long ago. Tempest Force, 6 Scout Troopers, is the variant of it. With a slight twist, I kind of noticed that in the meta there's a lot of dodge tech, so like units using a lot of dodge tokens to stay alive a lot longer than they should. Like, I think pikes are a perfect example where they can get like 6 or 7 dodge tokens on demand. Clone balls can generate like 4 or 5 shared dodge tokens, and this is like canceling hits after cover. It's kind of like what the meta is turning out to be.
It's very fun for your opponents.
Yeah, exactly. Which is where like the idea was, well, can I replicate this with scout troopers? And the answer is kind of. So Imperial officer.
Seemed to work rather well.
Yeah.
It minus 1 round, but ignoring that.
Yeah. So with the scout troopers, they all have situational awareness, emergency transpander, prepared supplies, and 4 of them have smoke grenades, which is a change from my first list, which had all of them with smoke grenades. I noticed that you really only needed 4 per game. Never really needed all 6. And it's actually helped out a lot because I played several lists that were crit fishers, where they kind of just tried to roll crits against you, or they had critical in them. So very low crit margins, where it's like 1 to 2 crits per shot. And it really helped being able to spend that dodge token and be able to stay alive, because it kind of just negated that little bit of damage that you kind of want to avoid. Or if I was defending against like a 10 hit attack, cancel 3 with cover and low profile, then I'm able to cancel an additional 2 to get it down to 5, which means that my scout trooper unit would live at like 1 to 2 minis left. So where my scout unit would all get wiped out in one shot, now it's my opponent has to spend an extra shot to finish them off, which helps because now they have to waste 2 shots instead of the 3 they want to waste, which means that all my other scout units get to stay at full manpower for much, much longer. Of course, the main meta version of Tempest Force is just to do sniper spam, which I definitely want to try. Definitely looks really good and is really good. But the dodge tech, I wanted to see how well it could work, and it actually worked really well. I lost 2 of my games. Those games were, if anything, more positional. Were actually more positional errors. The
start. No, it was like I was trying to cut you off and be like, no, the whole thing was rigged. Everything was rigged. You should have won the full thing.
It kind of was actually. The deployment. I had initiative bid, obviously. This list currently has 13-point bid. The one I was playing had a 10-point bid, so I had my objective deck, my conditions, and everything, which was super great. My second game, I actually could have won had I just put everything in a zone. It was breakthrough with hemmed in. The issue was, though, 2 of my stormtroopers were on the other side, so they were getting constantly shot, so I had to put my speeders in to take out one of his units to even it out. But the problem was, and I wanted to take out a second unit with my speeders just to guarantee the win, but the problem was I misplayed all my speeders every turn. I knew how to play them, I knew what I needed to do, I set myself up to do it. I just did not execute it, or execute it in the wrong way, for whatever reason, I forget why exactly I made those choices, but I ended up losing the game because of that. But it was still a very easily winnable game against a superior opponent, in my opinion. So that's just kind of something I choked up. The last game, I divided my units up into different areas, and that did not work. Half my scouts weren't able to get shots until turn 5 or 6, which was not good. And my speeders, 1 unit got picked off before they even got to shoot, which was also super unfortunate. However, what did almost save that game was the dodge tokens on the scouts. Them taking multiple shots to take out scouts actually almost saved the game, but not quite.
Actually, almost exactly like that. I had a game, not similar, but there was scout troopers involved, there was dodge tokens involved, and it was a pain in the arse.
Yeah, especially with low profile, they can cancel a lot of hits.
Yeah.
With prepared supplies and the emergency transpanders dodge, they can cancel like 5 in this list, which is really fun. But anyways, so that's the 6 scout troopers, 4 with smoke grenades, in case they have to rush out of cover to get something done. The Imperial officer in this version has vigilance. In my old version, she had improvised orders for order control, but that out of the 18 times I used it in all my games, actually 24 including all my practice rounds, it only came in handy one time. And the one time it did come in handy, it was like great, but it wasn't 100% necessary in hindsight. So I'm trying out Vigilance, because one thing I've noticed with Emergency and Transpanders is whenever I use it for a dodge token, it's always iffy because they may not shoot that unit, so that dodge is wasted. Vigilance is there to make sure that dodge isn't wasted, and also if a Scout Trooper decides to take a dodge action, they can go into turn 3 with 2 or 3 dodges, which, again, increases their survivability by more. That may change. I just don't really have a command slot I want to try on the Imperial Officer yet, so we'll see if that works. The 2 Stormtrooper units both have HH-12s, and 1 Stormtrooper unit has the Imperial Officer for increased courage and the Inspire 1, which is excellent. 2 Courage core unit, very hard to panic, isn't as easily suppressed, and with Inspire 1 kind of helps their buddy Stormtrooper unit not get panicked or suppressed as much, and just super effective, and allows me to take the condition card War Weary that I have in this list, where basically your commander's courage is reduced by 2 to like just range 1. It allows me to play like with my entire list besides that 1 Stormtrooper unit has courage 2, so they don't really have to be next to the officer with courage 2. So yeah, that Imperial Officer is really great, and I had full value out of it too. The Inspire 1 always came in handy. 2 Courage gave me 2 actions or 1 action when I wouldn't have one, and that 1 action always proved to be great. And HH-12s are really cheap and effective heavy options on Stormtroopers. And with the new Cumbersome buff, where they get to shoot and then move, it works extremely well. And of course, there's 3 speeder bikes, and this list in total comes out to 12 activations, which is super good. Out-activating my opponent and being able to throw my speeders into them at the end of the round is super fun and super, super good. The activation.
Wait, so sorry.
Yeah, good.
No, they added in a cumbersome buff?
Yeah, so it used to be where you couldn't move and shoot at all during the same activation with Cumbersome. Now, however, you can shoot and then move. So like you can fire your rocket and then move back or forward, but you can't move forward and then fire.
See, us droids don't have to worry about that type of stuff.
Yeah, the battle droids never have had Cumbersome, but it's nice that the organics are getting some love, you could say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, oh, well, that changes a lot of strategies.
Yeah, it really does. It has proved to be one reason why the HH-12 has become almost a meta card on Stormtroopers. The command hand is pretty much what you'd expect. It's got ambush, drive them out, we need reinforcements, pin down, constantly alert, and assault. Basically the 3 Tempest Force special cards with 2 generics and the pin down, because that works somewhat decently on speeder bikes, mainly just for issuing orders. Because usually when I play a 2-pip, I'm looking for speeder orders. Though we need reinforcements is there for melee units, which, to be honest, I've never actually seen it. Never actually played it for melee units. I've mostly just played it to give my 2 Stormtroopers orders so they can just move out of range of stuff. But if I ever do run against a melee unit, it's there in case I need it, even though most of this list has white saves. Though I guess with the dodge tokens, they can stay alive a bit longer. And potentially an Anakin strike might not wipe out a full unit of scouts. It may just kill like 3 of them, so it's good to be able to withdraw that last scout so I can shoot Anakin a bunch.
We all love shooting Anakin.
Exactly, yeah. And then the objective deck is... I originally had Hostage Exchange, but I realized what a mistake that was. So I replaced it with Intercept the Transmissions. I'm not using Key Positions because Key Positions is a lot more Force user friendly, I feel, with the Force Push. Like, they could double move and do an objective, Force Push your guy off of it, and suddenly you don't have enough units to score it. Intercept, in my opinion, an Intercept I like a little bit more because this list can spread out to conquer all 3 objective zones if it needs to. So I could be constantly racking up points turns 2 and 4 to get like 6 points, and then as long as I score just one of the 3 points for the last turn 6, I'm at 9 when my opponent's at 6. So that's kind of the idea here. And also, of course, because I have 12 activations, trying to just swarm those objectives and take them. Um, of course, depending on their list, they may have just as many troopers. So in that case, it would be more of like a standoff of me holding 2 zones and them rushing the last zone at the very end. But I still think I like my odds more with intercept over key positions. And then obviously breakthrough, recover the supplies, and bombing run are excellent for this list. Deployments, battle lines, disarray, rollout, and danger close. Danger close, rollout, and disarray have all worked extremely well for my list. What I've seen. Danger close, I've won 1 game, lost 1 game. The game I lost was where I split up all my scouts. The game where I won was keeping all my scouts together. So nice little way to learn how to play scouts.
If we
Disarray.
learned anything from that,
I know, yeah.
it is I'll be very independent.
Exactly, yeah. Disarray
Lone
is
wolf.
super effective, because this list doesn't really... I can basically place a token scout unit or a token stormtrooper unit on the far side of the table, depending on the objective, and they'll just do what they do. Or I split it up depending on, again, what the objective is. But it is really good against my opponent's lists that have just full gun lines. If they don't have like a token bark speeder that can just do donuts in the corner, or a token sniper unit, then it's effective because, their gun lines all split up. And I did replace battle lines with hemmed in, because hemmed in, I realized, is a more force user friendly deployment. So now I'm using battle lines, which is speeder friendly, which I learned the hard way. And then all the conditions are the same as I had before, except for fortified positions is swapped out. I swapped, what was the objective? I swapped rapid reinforcements for fortified positions, because fortified, I think, works better for my list, because my scouts benefit from the cover, and they have sharpshooter 1, so they deny the enemy the cover that they would be getting in that situation. And it also makes the enemy move out a bit more, which is helpful for my range 2 units, and it just provides my units with more cover. And then the other objective was rapid reinforcements, where my units didn't really struggle with that one. I think they actually liked it a bit, because they were able to... Because Tempest Force has that rule where you can basically rapid reinforcements deploy a speeder or a scout trooper behind enemy lines, or in a forward position. That's literally what rapid reinforcements does. So now I can do it with 3 units. But the issue I was noticing is that my enemies were able to start deploying units as well in that situation, and that was the iffy part. Like, do I really want to have to split my attention? I mean, it's not really, so...
Yeah, I must admit, rapid reinforcements was one that I didn't initially think was going to be that good for me, or at all, just in general.
Yeah, rapid reinforcements
play.
is very swingy. I feel like it's pretty good to pick, especially for droids, because they can get like a battle droid unit where they need to be. Yeah, it's definitely very swingy. I think for my list, because I already have the auto 1 rapid reinforcements, I don't really want to give my opponent any reinforcements in that situation. I'd rather just keep that to myself with the Battle Force rule of Tempest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my competitive list. I enjoyed it a lot. Tempest Force is super fun. I'm currently proxying most of my Scout Troopers as Clone Troopers, so I plan on buying 3 extra boxes of Scout Troopers just to have like the full Scout units, because I'm enjoying this list that much. So I'm definitely going to buy in and get all my Scouts and get them all painted up.
Yeah. The painting bit is always the funnest.
Yeah, it's definitely the most time consuming, but it's definitely the funnest. I still have to finish painting some Stormtroopers and the Shock Trooper armor. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I enjoy it. What was the other thing I was going to say about it? I just had a brain fart, so I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so I guess just moving on to my casual list. My casual list, so ever since Commander C.O.D came out, I've always wanted to put a list with him. So that's...
Oh yes, this list.
Yeah, so it's basically the Commander C.O.D list. I'm not going to show it because I have far too many variants of it. I'm just going to name out units, because I've actually come out with like 3 separate C.O.D variants for this casual list. One of them is Commander Cody with Recon Intel sees the initiative. Recon Intel because if you do a speed 1 move and it's a deployment like battle lines or something, then you usually can get a range 4 shot on a unit that also did a speed 1 move or that's just at the edge of their deployment. So speed 1 move, shoot, and then move back at range 4. Also for his command cards that give him like the extra observations, that way he can move out, almost guarantee observations on turn 1, and then move back so I can use his command cards with all the observe tokens, or just generate a bunch of rerolls for my clones. And in this first version,
Rerolls can be quite a pain in the arse with clones.
yes, rerolls are good with clones, and dodges are excellent with clones. And the reason why he has Seize Initiative in this version is because I just want to make sure, even if I don't have order control, that I'm still able to give him an order. Because he has target 1 with lethal 1, so if I do want him to shoot, I want him to have the aim token, and with target 1, if he's issuing an order, he gets the aim. Worst case scenario, that aim's put to use with a reroll of a clone trooper unit, but hey, with token generation, that could still be good. Then I have a clone commander for more order control, 4 phase 2 units, 3 with mortars in recon intel, 1 with boil, 2 phase 1 units with DC-15s, recon intel, 2 bark speeders, 1 with comms relay, and both with RPS rockets. This list comes up to 800 points. This is literally just learning how Cody plays with barks, with clones. There is no special shenanigans to it at all. It is just a pure basic gun line with just upgrades to shoot more stuff, basically. As such, I don't really think it's very competitive. Like I said, it's just learn how Cody plays and interacts with all these different units. And just, it's very simple in terms of that, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually with clone lists, you want to generate lots of dodge tokens. So on that note, the other 2 Cody variants I've made, which I'm going to be playing after I play this first version with Cody, is replacing the RPS, taking off the RPS gunners off the bark speeders, and putting vigilance on Cody and the clone officer, with portable scanner on Cody and portable scanner on the boil unit. And this is to generate like lots of dodge tokens. So round 1, I generate 4 dodges. With both copies of vigilance, I keep all 4 dodge tokens, and then going into next round, I generate 4 more. So now there's 8 dodges to be shared between the clone units. And you of course have Guardian 1 with boil. So you're looking at essentially like Guardian 1, 4 dodge tokens on 2 separate clone units. That's a lot of cancellation of hits going into round 2 combat.
Against clones, the last thing you want to deal with is dodges, and they always bring dodges.
Yes, exactly. It just keeps them alive a lot more. Clones, very effective with dodge tokens because they can spin off each other. Yeah, so that's basically what that version of that list does. The secondary version is I get rid of 1... Oh, because that list also loses 1 bark... No, that list still keeps the bark speeder. The second version of that list is I lose 1 unit of phase 1 clone troopers for situational awareness on the clone troopers, so they can spin dodges to cancel crits. I believe both the barks get RPS gunners, and I also believe one of the phase 2 unit that doesn't have situational awareness has a Z6 gunner. So that unit basically hides behind cover until it shoots, while the other 2 phase 2s sit out in the open with all the dodge tokens to soak up all the hits, basically.
So it just all around works for everybody.
Yeah, it's...
Everybody benefits.
Yeah, everybody except for hopefully the opponent. It does seem very good. Cody obviously would take cover.
The opponent also gets your dodges. They also get cover.
Yeah, exactly. Like cover 2, all the dodges, Guardian 1, canceling a lot of hits before they actually roll red saves with surges, which is super great. Cody obviously with the take cover 1 portable scanner is going to be generating 2 dodges with that action now because now he has take cover 2. Then he can aim, and then I can, if I issued him an order, he has 2 aim tokens with target 1. So he's also generating a nice amount of aim tokens for when the clones perform their first attack. The clone officer can then bolster and aim, so he's generating out. So there's like 3 aims for the clones to use with 2 surges extra, which is really great. It supercharges their dice pool to where if I do roll that C6 with those 4 blacks and I add in the phase 2 clone troopers with all their black dice with critical 1, we're hopefully looking at like a 14-12 hit attack after cover. And then obviously they spend dodge tokens, but hopefully they're taking a few models off the table.
See, we should do this. Just two casual lists against each other. Me with my armada of tanks that don't make sense. My army of tanks. There we go.
Yeah, the army of tanks. Yeah, for sure.
You
Definitely want to get
your
more.
army of
Definitely want to get more
tokens.
Legion games in, for sure, as the days go by. But yeah, those are the two C.O.D lists I had planned afterwards. Just a lot of dodge heavy stuff. After I kind of get used to C.O.D in a gun line, just how he works and how he works with clone troopers and bark speeders. Barks, in my opinion, are the best with C.O.D because barks are generally the best vehicle in Republic right now. And they also synergize well with his command cards. Like with his 3-pip card, when you're shooting units, you can spin observation tokens off them. When a vehicle's shooting a unit, it can spin an observation token to have a clone trooper unit perform a speed 1 move. With Barks, this is great because they can fire off like a DC-15 blaster or their base like 3-dice gun into a unit just to spin the observation token and put out suppression. And then the second shot can be followed up with the RP6 rocket to apply like the 3 dice with impact if you need it, with the fire support shot from that clone trooper unit that just moved up with the speed 1 move. That shot goes through, then you spin the observation token on that second unit that you shot at to have that clone trooper unit move back and back into cover, and then you have your bark speeder move out of line of fire. So it's an interesting hit and run strategy that I didn't explain super well. Basically, move up a clone trooper, move back a clone trooper based off bark speeder's shots, and you fire support one of those shots with that clone trooper unit. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think C.O.D's command cards are definitely underrated. The 3-pip is a lot of extra movement if you can use it correctly, and obviously you have to put the observation tokens on units. Generally, I think you want to spread those out on different units. That way they don't just move one unit back and then you don't get to do all your shenanigans. Having it spread on different units makes it to where like they can't really move back because then you have to move both units back. And if you put them on like priority but not high priority units, then you get to still do your shenanigans. And most of C.O.D's shenanigans, in my opinion, with those observation tokens, are directed at those like more squishy units. The one card where attacks gain suppressive, I think in that turn you're just kind of suppressing units and panicking them so they can't do anything. Like you're firing one clone trooper into that unit with an observation token, spinning the observation for suppressive, they gain 2 suppression tokens, then you fire the mortar into a different unit, that other unit gains 2 suppression tokens, and you rinse and repeat with your clone trooper units to generate like 6 or 4 suppression on both units before the rest of your clones fire into them.
Hate that. I said, so the Empire is going to hate that.
I mean, really, any faction will hate that, unless they have Inspire. And even with Inspire, like they're probably not going to be able to remove enough suppression tokens that you're going to be dishing out. It can also be used as an effective turn 1 card, like as your clone troopers are moving up, they just fire and deny actions to enemy units that might be able to shoot them. And then the 3-pip card, obviously, is just like, round 5, you play it, speeders shoot, move clone troopers into objective or closer to objective so they can move to the objective. Or round 1, you play it to hop clone troopers between cover and just get them closer and set up in their gun line. And then I think his 2-pip card's probably, in my opinion, the worst one. Because you have to put it on one, because it's, you issue an order to C.O.D and one trooper. The trooper that gets issued an order gets this token that's placed next to him, and if that trooper ever suffers damage during an attack, so basically like loses a dude, then C.O.D gets to perform an attack against the attacker, which is pretty good. The only issue is you don't have any choice of what unit C.O.D attacks. And usually you're going to play this on Boyle, so that because that way, if every time Boyle Guardians a hit away from a clone trooper unit, there's a chance that he blanks out and gets damage, and then you trigger C.O.D's ability. But because it is kind of like up to the attacker, kind of your opponent which unit that attacks, and then obviously which unit Boyle blanks out on, that attack is going to a random unit. Still useful to pull off models, but not exactly the best in my opinion. You can kind of line it up to where like a heavy vehicle shoots a clone trooper unit, Boyle blanks it, and then you shoot that heavy unit, but Boyle still has to blank it. So it's like Cody's card.
Very situated.
Yeah, I still take it because it gives Cody an order, and he does like that. And push is basically the same, just no flavor test, so you might as well take Cody's card. Um,
Hmm.
but it's definitely, I feel like, the worst of the three, though it has the potential of winning you a game because you wipe out a sniper unit with the one shot. Because Cody surges to crits, so he could get like 2 crits through on a sniper unit, spin an aim for
No,
Pierce
my
1.
sniper.
Yeah, I mean, Droid and Republic Sniper and Arc Snipers I think are okay. Like Echo, I don't think is going to die because 2 crits, he's got 3 red saves, probably a shared dodge, if he has situational awareness, which he usually doesn't. So he's probably rolling red saves with surges. Even if you have Pierce 1 on that, he's still rolling 3 dice, so he could roll all 3 saves. Even if he just gets 2, though, he's still only taking 1 wound, and he's a 3-wound sniper unit. But like against Imperial and Rebel snipers, where they roll white defense, and Pierce 1 basically cancels the block that they maybe get, so they will be... You'll be wiping a full sniper unit with Cody's regular shot, and with this card, potentially get a second shot to wipe out a different unit, or just remove some models, so... Yeah. It's decent. Yeah, I think Cody's 3-pip card's great. His 1-pip card can be used to great effect, and his 2-pip card is situational. Yeah.
I don't really have much to comment on that.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know more, I guess, once you play against Cody, or once you see him more in action, I guess.
And I think you did. I think you did a pretty good job of explaining it all. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at Cody for a while, ever since he came out, and I was gonna put him at the tournament, but I wanted to play Tempest Force more because I really have always wanted to play Scout Troopers. I just never really found a good reason to buy that many. But now that you can play up to 6, like I feel like they're probably the best unit, one of the best units in the game to play 6 of, because they have thumbs, so they can do objective play. They have Scout 3, so they can get really far. They have low profile, so they cancel hits consistently on every defense. 2 black dice per unit, even though it's range 2, that's still really great. And they also have Sharpshooter 1. The only thing they're missing is Surge to hit and Impact, which the speeders carry the Impact, so do the Stormtroopers. And Surge to hit's kind of minor. You can kind of overlook that.
yeah, not the biggest issue.
No, not the biggest issue with how good their dice pool is.
Yeah.
2 blacks, range 2, man. It's just that good.
I know.
Yep.
Should we
yeah.
share? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we share stories from the tournament?
If you
have a
want, you
little
can.
fire,
I think I already did a battle report about all my games actually on the channel. But if you want to share your stories about the tournament, go ahead. We still got a bit of time, yeah.
Aha, yes, alright. Prepare to be seated for another 2 hours. This is a riveting story that will last even longer than the battle itself. Maybe. Alright, so get in your minds like this like scenery, alright? So it's like a dark forest, there's a crackling campfire in front of you. You got the drink, maybe like a bow, and some meat cooking on it. You hear the slight breeze, some rain. And now throw all that out because we was inside. So it was the last match that I was in, and
Oh, you're starting with
honestly,
the last match. Interesting. Okay.
huh?
You're starting with the last match. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that was the funnest. Well, kind of. Anyway, I don't know, I really liked Mason. He was a real good guy.
Okay.
Um,
He was pretty cool. He was the only other player playing Tempest Force at our tournament, and he was doing triple ATST. So.
yes, I actually did a lot better than I thought I would against triple ATST.
Yeah, especially
But
with the
that
amount
was
of rockets you have in your list, like you're pretty much fine. Dealing with triple ATST is similar to Dark Troopers. Bring Impact 6+. Or you kill all their core units so they can't really do anything.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? Shoot, just blanked out. Oh, yeah. breakthrough. That's where you need to get your forces to the enemy lines, right? Whoever has the most
Yes, yeah.
wins.
Breakthrough's the one where when you in the game, you gain 1 point for each friendly friendly unit you have inside their deployment zone.
Enemy unit leader.
Unit leader. Yep. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. If the leader's not in there, you don't score. Actually, wait a minute, Frick. Never mind. Bring back that scenery I was talking about because this took place on Endor,
Yeah, that's right.
which was
I did see
very
the table. Yeah.
inverted. Yeah. All right. So bring back that scenery. You will instead be just a bystander. Hold on tight, because I'm not done yet. All right. So I'm gonna change it up a bit. All right. So it's a forest. It's nighttime. I forgot to add that in last time. It's night. Bunch of trees around you, campfire, and then suddenly there's 3 freaking ATSTs coming out. There's a officer, I think 3 Imperial stormtroopers, and then a squad of scout troopers. Also, one of the
I think he
stormtrooper
had
squads is.
3 scouts and 1 stormtrooper unit is what he had.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, no, I was getting mixed up.
Yeah, because
Also,
in
the
that
stormtrooper unit.
force you only have to have 1 stormtrooper unit, and you have to have at least 2 scouts.
Yeah. All right. So get that all in your head. Also, the stormtrooper group is just freaking trying their best to carry around this huge medical droid with them. So there's that
Ooh,
too.
yeah, medical droid. Okay.
Yeah, and or no, yes, they had a medical droid.
Oh, is it a repair droid for the ATSTs?
The repair droid is with the officer.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so and then on the opposing side is my team, which I've already explained to you earlier. So if you don't remember, sorry.
How does he get a repair droid with the officer? Because the repair droids are a personnel upgrade.
I don't know. The repair droid hung around the officer. I don't think it was on the officer, but it hung around with her.
Oh, okay. I think that might have been on the stormtrooper group then. Was the repair droid maybe?
Yeah. I don't know. I do remember there being a medical droid.
Oh, okay. It was specifically healing scout troopers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember he brought back a trooper too.
All right. Makes sense. Never mind then.
So, all right. So my squad's in the back, and then I'm so essentially in my mind, I'm just thinking, you know, all right, well, I've got way more activations than him. I've got mass numbers, but I do kind of need a distraction because if I just run all my forces over there and he runs all of his back there, he's not going to win. So obviously he's going to come back and try to take out some of mine with his ATSTs, so that he can end up winning. So I kind of decided to create a bit of a distraction, so I used two droid squads, both with rocket launchers. Obviously, all of them had rockets, to kind of go back and create a bit of a diversion, in a sense, because I knew the ATSTs was coming out that way.
Right.
So they kind of hung behind barricades, fired off onto the ATSTs, and and the rest of the squad essentially went around the other side. I was a bit foolish in this because I did not use my snipers to their full potential. I should have had them closer so they could actually be picking off a bunch of the units.
At the range.
Instead,
5,
I had them. Yeah, instead I had them just barely out of range 5. But by that time, they was already still close to the other side. I was like, you know, frick it, that's another person we could get there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did when I got them there. I ended up getting most of my squad there, and I kept him on his toes quite a bit with the stat writers because out of all of them, the stat writers kept on doing hit and runs, and that was honestly probably his biggest threat because I also didn't use my droidicas to their full extent.
Yeah, I
didn't use
think
them
the stabs are hit and runs. Yeah.
Yeah, so sadly though I wasn't out. I don't think I was rolling too well, so I didn't exactly get them. But yeah, wait a minute. All right, I gotta remember where I was going with this.
Did you kill? I think you killed one of the ATSTs. Is that right?
No, but I severely damaged. Well, no, I didn't severely damage, but I did do a decent amount of damage to 2 of them.
Okay. Oh, so you're splitting your fight a little bit. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, because I couldn't exactly focus it all on one whenever there was the 2 separate ones, and I kind of wanted to take his pull his attention elsewhere. So that was also with the supply drop, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, there was a bunch of supply crates all over the place too. So we ended up getting a bunch of that. Ironically, I got the exact same supply, I think, twice,
Oh
for the
wow.
exact same unit. Yeah, so I couldn't exactly use it because I can't remember what it was, but it's essentially you can only use it once, regardless, and it's not really useful anytime else. So to have two of them ain't really much.
Okay, I mean most of them are one uses anyways. Was it like
Yeah,
the grappling hooks or the low profile
I
camo?
don't I don't remember. I think it was something with like snipers
Oh,
or
air
like scopes or
tokens.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think those ones are recoverable or something. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so, but then that's also kind of why it's kind of pointless to have two. And then, although, yeah, we did end up talking about it too, and it was like, well, you could have both of them on, and just, you spend one, use the other, and then recover one, and
Use the
so on
other.
and so
Yep.
forth. Yeah. Anyway, so essentially, this was a big, like, not really failure because I did end up learning quite a bit from this, as in I should utilize the strengths of my units a lot more. Um,
Right.
which I did on the battle prior to this one, which also was very fun. Which I also kind of want to talk about it.
Yeah, that was the one you won. Yeah, that's right. It's the one you won. Yeah.
And just barely, that was like neck and neck.
That was.
Although
Yeah.
this one was two. I think this one was two because yeah, it was. I think he won by like 1 point.
Yeah, one breakthrough point. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was incredibly close. It was very fun because the whole time it was a big tug of war. Just the both of us going back and forth between each other, trying to take out one squad while trying to get our other squads back behind enemy lines and all this other stuff. And I was still trying to keep my tactical droid out there so he could pass around tokens and keep communications up and do all
Right.
this other stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I think the finishing blow though came whenever he, I believe, destroyed both my sniper units because I ended up getting me 1 point behind rather than 1 point ahead.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So he
Yeah,
killed both of your sniper droid teams and both of the
I believe.
B1s, or
I believe so.
okay. Yeah. That would make sense point wise. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, would we have time for me to quickly talk about the previous round too?
Yeah. Sure. That was. Yeah. You can talk about all the games.
All right. Yeah, the first one was a colossal failure on my part. We don't need to talk about that.
I did see that one. That was Long March, Recover, and I forget the condition, but it was like Long March, Recover. So I remember coming up to you because my game had just ended, and I came up and was seeing how things were, and yeah, he's a pretty tough opponent. He did actually beat me. I played him in round two. I would have won, but that was the game where
Yeah,
I goofed up all my speeders, which did not feel great. But it's great to know that I would have won had I. Well, I even knew how to play correctly, so I don't even know why I lost. That's just a feel bad situation. Um,
and,
yeah, I don't even know how I lost that game,
oh,
to be honest. I had everything set up, I had everything correctly in place, knew what I needed to do, and it just lost anyways. And it was because I kept activating units out of order. But I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. I remember looking across the table and just seeing your like one of the most memorable parts was like whenever your I think it was your speeder was like caught in like a choke point. Like there was a little doorway where all of his troops was on the other side and yours was coming through.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was because it was hemmed in, so he put all his forces in one zone, and then I was blue player, so I just basically moved all my guys to the other zone because it was breakthrough. But my stormtroopers are still behind, so I was trying to kill one of his units of stormtroopers and take out a sniper unit if I could, just for the extra like buffer of points, and also get one of my units of stormtroopers back. I think I could have played. I think in hindsight, I could have played a little bit better had I given my stormtroopers orders so they could go first and not get shot. I think that was my bad on that game. I think they could have changed it a bit better. But also, I would have won had I not messed up my speeders like I did. And yeah, I don't know how that happened because I had everything correctly. But anyways, it's okay. It's a good game.
Yeah, we learned from mistakes.
I think he actually didn't have a World's Invite too, and I think he ended up with one, or was one of the two players that didn't have one in his group of friends. So,
Hmm.
so in my so when I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, that's cool. Because one thing going into the tournament was my goal was to go 2-1, which I didn't want to do. But I didn't want to take a Worlds invite from a player because I wasn't going to be going to Worlds, so I didn't want to take an invite from a guy that was going. And that was like my
Yeah.
topmost, like, I don't really want this to happen. So I'm glad at the end of the day that even though I should have won the game and I was set up to win it, that I still lost because it meant that he got a chance to. And I was like, okay, well, that's why
Yeah.
he won, because fate has it to where I'm making all these mistakes.
Yeah, everything worked out in the end.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why I walked away from that game with my head held high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do remember your first game. That didn't really go too well. Because I also remember you
Didn't
like
at all.
trying. Because I remember one of the objectives was put on top of a rock, and one of your units wasn't able to
Oh,
get
yeah.
all your minis placed up there.
Yeah, that was so annoying because I think one of them was like just barely overhanging, and I was like, yeah, no, we can't accept that. And I was like, dang, nabbit, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
With
calling
that,
in
then I
my
had to send
kind of weird in my opinion, but that's okay.
Yeah, then I had to send up my super tactical, whom ended up surviving, I think, 4 rockets
Oh
and
wow.
2 sniper shots.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a trooper. Sadly, he ended up becoming panicked, and so the point didn't count.
Oh, yeah, that does happen from suppression. Yeah.
Yeah, so that sucks. It was still a learning experience.
Yeah, don't play on Long March against Imperialists.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, don't play in Long March. That's what I
Yeah,
learned from that.
I think especially for your list, you don't really want to do Long March. In general, Empire lists find them slightly better because they tend to have either speeders to close the distance or they have snipers. And in general, Empire lists can set up longer range scenarios. I think Long March is good when you have like range 4 and tanks and snipers. But even then, yeah. In general, Long March is a bit too swingy of an objective for either side. I think like Rebels can do it well, but that's because like their meta list right now is like half the units have range 5, and the other ones have range 4.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like with one very specific objective too. I think so, or no, it's probably multiple. Yeah.
That is another thing I really do like about this tournament is that everyone there was incredibly nice and
Yep.
just good folk all around.
Yeah, the Legion competitive community is very good. Again, I think it's because like the line between competitive and casual is there, but it's blurred. To where like a casual list can look pretty different from a competitive list, only in terms of like how many dodges or aims it produces, what's the unit composition. But in terms of like actually winning a game, choosing a battle deck and stuff, it's still very much the same. Like you're not going to pick a hostage exchange if you don't have a force user, unless your opponent doesn't either, and you know that. So yeah, and also casual Legion, you can like play custom objectives with custom armies, and that gets extremely wacky and fun.
Yeah.
I would say in general, Legion's skill is mostly just like in terms of experience and how long you've been playing the game. It's mostly a skill game instead of being a list meta game.
Yeah, which I think is honestly one of the best parts about it.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
takes more of your own brain power rather than just being, oh, okay, so just do this and this will win me everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember Blizzard and Republic, right? Like Empire and Republic right now are the top two factions. But the last couple of major tournaments were won by Separatist and Rebel players. And in top 4 of one tournament was, I believe, like 2 Rebels and 1 Separatist player in both tournaments. Or no, one tournament was 2 Rebels, 1 Separatist. One other was 2 Separatist, 1 Rebel. Um, and in both cases, they played against Blizzard Force and won. They played against Republic lists and won, that were like the dodge heavy lists. And they also played against some like newer Imperial meta lists. Of course, there was those Imperial tournaments where like, yeah, this Imperial Blizzard list won, and this Gar list won, and also the top 4 was like Gar and Empire at Nova. But a couple tournaments after that, we did see like a Rebel list win, and we did see a Separatist list win. No, it was a Separatist list that beat a Rebellion list. Sorry, Separatist beat Rebellion. Yeah.
Well, that makes the achievement way less meaningful. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it's good to know because Separatists and Rebellion are kind of like looked down as the underdog factions, but the fact that two of those players played each other, and the top four was almost dominated by Separatist and Rebellion is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I believe there is a strategy to win everything.
Yep, for
So
sure. It is
yeah,
a skill game. Yeah. So, anyways, how did your second round go?
yes. All right. So this one was fun. So settle down and let me read you this story from my mind. It's on a Lego world.
Yeah, that's right. It
Which
was
is
a
one thing
Lego
I
map. The map design of this tournament was pretty funny. So we had a Hoth map with like an AT-AT and a bunch of like snow mountains and stuff. We had a giant Geonosian Spire, a part of a Geonosian
Yeah,
map.
that was the one I wanted to play on.
That one was pretty fun. I got to play on that map. Unfortunately, the entire game was in the center of the map where there's like no terrain, so that wasn't exactly the most interesting. He had a crashed gunship he was hiding behind, and I had to push all my forces up to him.
Mhm.
And then the first game you got to play on the like snow mountain Lego terrain map. And the second game you got to play on like the jungle savannah Lego map. And it was really funny that we had like two Lego maps in the middle of stuff. We also had a Mustafar map that looked really cool too.
Yeah, that one I remember seeing like droid tanks and ATSTs go up head to head.
Yeah, and I think the droid player actually won that match too, I think.
Yeah,
Or
he
almost. He did win, yeah. He did win, yep.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, he did.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I remember because I was there for the last shot where it's like, okay, I gotta kill this ATST or I lose, and he did enough crits to kill it. I'm pretty sure. Or the ATST player won. I don't actually remember. I have to look back at game uplink.
Yeah, I feel like it was him who won. But
Yeah, I think
anyway,
so too.
right. Continuing on with the story. So it was on the Lego marshes, and so essentially I forget what exactly we chose for setup. But either way, it benefited me heavily.
It looked
We
like
did,
battle lines from the deployment,
yeah,
or
I
hemmed
believe
in.
so.
I think it was either hemmed in or battle lines, because
I think it
both
was
your guys
battle
were
lines.
basically facing off each other, and it looked like because I started watching from like round 6 and 5, and it looked like you guys really hadn't moved that far. So I think it was a battle lines deployment, and objective wise, it was key positions, right?
No, it wasn't. It was not. Yeah, it was. It was key positions. There was redeployment. It was not battle lines, but it was very similar.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, Wait a minute. Actually, this is gonna bug me if I don't see this 1 second.
No worries. Cause yeah, I think it was because there's not battle lines. It was probably hemmed in, or cause was it his objective deck or was it yours?
It was mine.
It was yours. Okay, so it must have been uh maybe major offensive. I don't think so. I think your battle
That was
deck.
actually one thing I enjoyed was that. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
Every round I was in, we used my deck because I had the highest. I had, I think, like an 11-point initiative bid.
Yeah, and because it was your first tournament, and because I was hogging most of the objective cards that weren't core set, you had core set, so.
Yeah.
Which is good. You get to learn which ones are good and bad for your list.
Yeah. And I got to learn in a very good environment.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Very, very fun environment. But yeah, anyways.
Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, no, it was major offensive.
Okay, major offensive. Alright, so you guys did move around a bit then. Alright.
Yeah, because I remember he had a. Yeah, I had all of mine in like that big box. I had some of them off to the edge. I think that was just a like sniper group.
Yeah, I think it was the
he had
Sniper Grievous, yeah.
Yeah, he had all of his at the tail end of his deployment. That's what I remember too. Was like there was like half the map was just a war zone. Everything was going, haywire. Everyone was shooting everybody, running all this other stuff. The other place was just peaceful. Nobody even stepped foot there.
Yeah, exactly.
Except
that's usually what happens with major offensive. If one player puts all their stuff in one little area, it's going to be a blood zone right there. Unless they like deploying two separate areas, then there's going to be a lot of shooting everywhere.
Yeah, and obviously too, it was key positions, so we had to set up those tokens. Fun fact: we accidentally didn't check range on one of them. It was range 1 away from his deployment, but it was not range 1 from another one of the key key positions.
Yeah,
Um,
was that the I don't remember which one that was. Yeah, keep going.
it was the one. Yeah, it was the one. It was the one closest to his home base.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, I do remember though looking at it and I was like, well, knowing him and seeing what's closest to his base, that would have honestly made me win so much faster and easier because there was only like one other piece of terrain he could have put it down on,
Yeah.
and that piece of terrain had to be closer to me. And
Yeah, for
also
sure.
that was
Like
what I used as cover most of the time.
if it's major offensive, and they can't, and there's only one eligible piece, well, it doesn't have to be beyond range one of deployment zones. Just it doesn't have to be inside deployment zones.
Yeah,
Um,
just can't be inside the opponent
yeah, but if
zones.
it's like not beyond
Beyond
range
range,
one of the center objective, and there's only like one other piece option, then usually like if you have a speeder or a droidica unit, you can probably get there pretty fast.
yeah, and I was using that piece of terrain as cover the whole game too, with way
Oh
more
wow.
units than him. So either way, yeah, no, I would have won if we actually technically played it correctly.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not mad about that, by the way. I'm just mentioning that.
No, I think it made a more interesting game.
Yeah, no, it really
And,
did.
and
That's why I
on,
was.
and on the
That's why I
flip
was saying.
side, he might have. I mean, because he was playing Republic, right? He was playing the clone ball.
Yeah, Yoda and Chewbacca could have come over and just
Oh
freaking
yeah.
rocked my crap.
Yeah, they could have come over at any given time at the end of the game to do that if he had control of the center. But more importantly, he could have set up in that point and then just held that, and then at the very end, rock your world with a Chewbacca Yoda strike.
That what I was thinking was like that would probably be what would win him that.
Yeah, so I guess
That's
it
what I
could have gone
remember. I was like,
50-50, but the game as it was going pretty 50-50 until you secured the win at the end. I'll let you go ahead and tell your rest of
yeah,
your story.
yeah, that's yeah, the whole just about the whole game I had it secured with two droidicas, and my stabs occasionally run flying by. And then eventually he managed to take out my droidicas with just like focused fire on them to the poor
Mm.
things. And then it was open and it was uncontested. And then it was all like a big battle for it. And then I sent in Grievous, who was hiding behind this one rock this whole time, just commanding units and using his annihilator. And
Oh
then
yeah, that
just
was the
came in
game
there. I
around,
believe,
yeah. End of the game.
yeah, I believe it is one pip card I used, right?
Yeah, because you just mainly need to get Grievous in and kill like the unit of clones, like the ARC Trooper that was sitting on the objective. Because I remember at the very end of that game, he had one unit of Phase 2s that had moved into the objective, an ARC Trooper that was on it, and a weakened Clone Trooper unit. You needed to move in with Grievous, kill the ARC Trooper, and then just take a swing into the weakened clones, move another one of your units in, to tie up the game, and then I think you needed to move like a third unit in, which you had to win the game, which you did.
Yeah. I had this. So yeah, my snipers, I didn't move at all. Like the first round was the only round I moved them. I just moved them up into position and then I left them there.
Yeah.
Although I did have to move one back a little because immediately they got shot at and we lost one of them. And so I was like, oh frick, we might want to get back a bit.
Well, one of the
So
models from the unit, yeah.
yeah, and so he was the one hiding behind the stone, like this huge hill this whole time.
Mm.
And what should we call it? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he was hiding behind that one huge that one like little mountain that whole time. Um, and I don't know. I felt like I had him hidden the whole time. Nobody really paid much attention to him. And I'm like, perfect. Yes, you scale and get the frick over there. And then that guy barely won the game for me.
Yeah, he did. I remember when we were thinking about it, we're like, well, Grievous versus these clone troopers. This other droid moves up. It's tied. Goes to kill points, and then you like activated that commando droid sniper, and we're like, oh, you win the game then.
Yeah, and everyone was just like, wait a minute, you had that guy there?
We're like, wow, okay, you would have won the game a lot sooner.
The element of surprise, and then just freaking launch him forward.
Yeah, it was very surprising as well. Yeah. How did that last round go too? Like, what did he exactly do with his units?
He was kind of just doing the same as me. I was incredibly afraid of Yoda. I think Yoda stayed back and kind of just generated more dodge tokens for them.
Yeah, that's what Yoda generally does. Luminous Beings, he gets 2 aims, 2 dodges, 2 surges, so he boosts everyone's defense and offense for that turn. And then following turn, he'll play like his 1 pip to recycle that card. And pretty much just, I don't know, use Force Guidance if he has to generate more tokens. Generally, Yoda just plays Luminous to add up tokens. At the end of the game is when he'll like dive in and try to kill something.
Yeah. So that whole game though, I was like, okay, the clones I can manage. Yoda and Chewbacca, I am incredibly afraid of. Either
Yeah,
way,
I don't
just
think you need to be
like,
too afraid of Chewbacca. He's a white save unit in a faction that loves red saves.
yeah, but it was just the duo of them together because they help each other so
The
much.
Chewbacca backpack. Yeah, the Chewbacca backpack is the card you want to watch out for with Yoda. Because basically what happens is Chewbacca picks up Yoda and then runs with him, and at the end of Chewbacca's activation, he double moves, and then now Yoda's in your face because Chewbacca ran him up to you.
Yeah, but if we could take out Yoda too, I mean, well, it was if we could take out either one, then obviously it made it so much less worse. The
Yeah.
only issue though was that it was like okay, one round, there's no way I'm gonna be able to take either one of them out. So just pray he don't do nothing with them and just get the heck out of there. And that's exactly what happened. I kept his other forces at bay with this. Well, actually, I'm surprised, but just about every droid unit I had actually lived throughout
Oh
the
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, except for the droidicas,
Like,
those guys got wiped out.
yeah, and the staff riders. But like
Oh.
for the core units though, they like each of them survived. Granted, one of them survived with just the commander left, but they still
That's
survived.
still an objective unit. Competitively in Legion, you do want to eliminate acts. That's why you want to focus fire, just to eliminate activations, eliminate a scoring unit. Generally, split fire isn't a good idea unless you're just trying to spread suppression on units so they don't get any actions. So you can win the round, you can win the game by them not being able to move to contest the objectives. But if you're going for an offense, you generally just want to like focus it up and wipe out an activation, wipe out a unit, because then you're up kill points. So if you tie objective, then because you killed a unit and they didn't, you win the game.
Yeah, that was my big thing too. Was like I was not doing very good with killing units. Getting objectives, freaking that I was doing great with that. That I feel like that's what droids was made to do. Killing units,
droid battle
getting mad.
droids. Yeah, battle droids are definitely built for objective play. It's what you bring in your list that does the killing basically.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it was like for kills, like whenever they tallied up kills, I was like, ah, crap, I got almost nothing. I focused it all on objectives and keeping them suppressed.
Right.
So, but I do remember that though. Like at the very end of it though, there was those last few units of his coming in, and so I wanted to keep them, at bay with my rocket droids. I think one of them managed to get through though. They just booked it and just got to the terrain. And then and that's where the whole Grievous thing happened and the arc and all that other stuff. And then then that one other droid, and then yeah. But for the most part, though, it was very much like once it got to the end of the round, we was like, oh crap, we got to wrap this up. So
Yeah.
we just booked it once I think we went into overtime.
Yeah, I think you guys did go in overtime. I think time was called. And then you guys finish it up. Yep.
Yeah, so it was just fun though, because I felt like there was like a collective thought between the two of us, like, oh wow, well, all right, we both got to book it for this objective because
Need to go.
there's no way we was getting. Yeah, there's no way we was getting either one of the other objectives. Just everyone fight for the center objective.
Yeah, that round 5-6 dash to the objective to get it before the opponent does. Yep.
Yeah. And thankfully I had that droid up my sleeve, or else he would have probably gotten the point majority.
Yeah, that was a clutch play. That was a very clutch play.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop bringing that up because I don't want it to be like the sole focus.
No, I mean, it's good to focus on the playmaker unit and how exactly you win. Single units are dangerous. Gotta eliminate activations. That's all I could say.
I think it's dangerous because you don't really focus on them. It's just, alright, there's a huge force here, and there's one guy there. I think I'm gonna focus on this huge force because I don't want them to take out my guys. But if you took out that one guy, then that'd be so many more points.
Yeah, it definitely is like an even split with what you should do. Really just depends on what your list is, basically, and what you can kind of cheese it around as well. Because if you do shoot into the big force, you might take out like 1 or 2 guys, but then that unit shoots you with a bunch of dice and takes out 3 or 4 of your guys, because you're droids, battle droids.
Yeah.
So you're still taking casualties, just at a slightly reduced rate.
To be fair, when
is-
it comes to these games, sometimes that slightly reduced rate can be the difference between winning and losing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, easily. But it just depends on the opponent. Like, I remember with my Scout Troopers, that was the big thing, is that, like, they still have 1 or 2 minis left in their squad after you shoot this massive attack into them, so you either gotta shoot them again, or this is a unit that has thumbs that can grab the objective and then book it with 1 guy left. I had that actually happen a couple in my practice games where a single Scout Trooper grabbed you.
Guys, look what I got! It's
Yeah,
objective!
where a single Scout Trooper would still score an objective because it's still an objective unit. Like, you killed most of the squad, but those dodge tokens kept you from killing the whole squad, so this guy's just gonna run away now.
Just imagine him like holding this like objective over his head, just like, guys, look what I found!
Yeah, exactly. It's
Died
pretty,
for this thing. What is it?
Yeah, it's pretty funny for sure. Yeah, I guess it was a good tournament though. A lot of fun, and hope to play more Legion soon one of these days. I know that
I
me
hope to
and
get
Kyle.
more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I hope to get more alternate arts because that was also incredible. Oh, also, still thank you for the BX squad.
Yeah, no problem. For those of you that haven't watched the battle report that I did of the tournament, there was some good alternate arts in the tournament. You actually get to see. I did a full recording of all the arts. The artwork I wanted those of Commander C.O.D. For like the full art operative or commander unit, but someone else picked it up. So there was like nothing that I wanted. So I was just like, well, Isaiah's gonna want these commando droids, so I'll just give those to him. Because there was a lot of separatist units, so I knew he was going to have a hard time picking, so I was like, I'll just pick these out for him. I ended up taking because you also get to pick out an upgrade, I ended up picking out the sniper upgrade for Scout Troopers. Because if I ever decide to play snipers on my scouts, now I can run the special art card for them.
I would highly recommend
Yeah,
playing
snipers
Scout.
are good on scouts. I definitely want to try out a Tempest Force with snipers instead of dodge tech, but I don't know, that dodge tech works really well, and scouts kind of need it, because even though they cancel 3 hits per attack, a lot of attacks are like 12 to 7 hits, so those dodge tokens narrow it down to at least 1 unit surviving, and then it provides that situation where it's like, well, you gotta shoot him again to kill him. Or he grabs the objective.
Yeah. Oh, also, there was a very kind player there, Jew, whom gave me French Grievous.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the French version of Grievous, yeah.
Thankfully, I know very little French, so I can
yeah, that's
somewhat
the interesting
read
thing.
two of the.
Yeah, I'm studying French right now, so I think I know what he says, but I haven't like looked through my notebook in a while. It's between courses for me. Like, I studied French a little while ago, and I've been waiting on starting course 2 for a while, so about time I start that up again.
French is definitely one of the languages ever made.
Yeah, French is pretty fun. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to completely ignore half the words you say, then it's right up your alley.
Yeah. Alright, well, I guess that's it we gotta talk about. We just talked about the lists we made and stuff, and then went into that. I guess next week we can talk about the special operations that AMG released a couple weeks ago. It's basically like remember that beta that came out where like they had like the small like 5-man team lists that were like very small squads going against each other?
I think so.
Yeah, it's basically like instead of like normal Legion where you have like 5 units of 5 stormtroopers, it's special operations where you'll have this preset squad of units, which can be like in one Imperial squad, for example, is like an Imperial officer, 3 stormtroopers, 2 death troopers, and a medical droid. The difference though is that each of those squads is a single meanie, so each stormtrooper is one singular stormtrooper. And thus each like stormtrooper has like 6 health, rolls 5 dice, and stuff. So it's basically like Imperial Assault, I'd say, with like each individual guy having multiple health, a pretty decent attack, and you just kind of fight those against each other. It looks pretty fun. They just got out of their beta, so they finally released like this is how it is. So I'm really keen on trying that. I know in the Discord server we have someone that wants to do a tournament of it, which does look very fun. And
With that 2 people,
yeah,
I am now intrigued.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think everyone would be interested in doing that. So I think we probably have like 4 or 5 people. I guess we can talk about that next week. What lists we think are the best. I guess do like a mini tier list of that. It's on AMG's website if you want to check it out. It's pretty cool.
Indeed.
Yeah. But until then, I guess we'll adjourn our meeting.
Ooh, wait, real quick. If there ever was a tournament, we got to figure out how to print cards. I will make a bunch of alternate arts for that.
That does sound like fun. Yep. Need even more
Yeah.
alternate arts.
Yeah, it'll take me a while, but trust me, I'll be able to painstakingly Photoshop them all.
Add just even more alternate arts to the already growing stack that Alec has. Yeah, that'd be funny. All right. Well, I have been Mike,
I have been Glacier Dawn.
and we'll see you guys next time. May the force be with you. Good luck and get rock and rolling.
Arrivederci.